As a persuasive style because they're trying to preach something and they're asking the students or the crowd to join you, to enroll somewhere, to start taking coaching for a certain exam. So seminars are also persuasive style. Correct, Pooja? Okay, now the last one is narrative. Narrative mostly have the I factor, which is the I pronoun. I went there because I'm going to narrate it. I'm going to tell you my experience. Hence, it is called a narrative. So, memoirs, stories, novels, poems, all can be narrative. They are telling you something. Like a story can be descriptive also, a story can be narrative also. There's a very thin line of difference between the two. So, when I say a story is telling me a story, it doesn't sound good. So I'll say a story is telling me something about the characters which are involved in it. Then it's a narration. Then similarly with novels, any fiction that can be a novel or a novella or a story. Okay. Similarly with poems, if you read a poem on something, a topic like something on nature, if you're reading nature poets, you're reading Wordsworth and Keats, then you're talking about nature. If you're reading a little more modern poetry, you're talking about oneness with the environment, you're talking about a dog or a cat. A poem can be on anything. It's all telling the poet's or the author's point of view. Hence it is called a narrative. You get my point, everybody? Yes, Lakshita, novels can be in a descriptive style also. You are very correct. Okay. Anything else? Memoirs are basically, when you talk about a historical account or a biography written from personal knowledge about somebody, it's called a memoir, which means I'm going to write from whatever I know about Mr. Abul Kalam Azad. If I'm going to write something about him, that's going to be a memoir and I'll get it published. So it's just my style. I am telling you what happened when I met him. I am not writing his biography. It's kind of a biography. Autobiography is narrative style, but it's the person about whom you're writing. He has narrated everything, and you are just a medium or a means to bring it out to the audience. Okay? Poems, poetry is the same. Yes, Shaikh. Yes, Sheikh. Poems and poetry is the same. Lucidly. Lucidly is comprehensively, clearly. Something is lucid, which means it's intelligent, it's clear, it's easy to understand. That's lucid. Okay, Kriti? Yes, Jia. So you're very correct. When the problem comes, it's difficult to differentiate between the descriptive and the expository style. Now, explanation always happens for a particular concept. Suppose the idea of a GST. I don't know how to calculate GST. So I'm going to explain. I'm going to put the formula. Or you're doing a topic in science. If you're doing, let's say, the the digestive system. So I have to explain to you the working of the stomach, the esophagus, the intestines. That becomes explanation. That is a expository style of writing. Okay. Or suppose, like I told you, you're buying a new television and the television comes with a with an instruction manual. So the instruction manual will tell you, okay, now you have to click this button, then you have to put in this socket, then you have to wait for the green light. After the green light, you have to use your remote. All that is instructions. It's explaining the process of how to use a television. Hence, that becomes expository. Moving on to the descriptive style, what happens in descriptive is the incident has happened and I'm going to describe it. I went to Kashmir last year, so I'm going to describe what was my trip like. I saw a match yesterday. I'm going to describe how the match was. So I'm going to give you finer details about an incident or a situation which has already happened. Okay, there is no explanation because it's not a new concept, it's not a topic, it's either a situation or an event. Or I attended a seminar 2 days back, and my friend is asking me today, how was the seminar? So I'm going to describe the seminar, I'm not going to explain the seminar. You get the difference, everybody? Okay, Lakshita, that's a nice one. Live classes are persuasive style. Yes, I'm trying to convince you that please read, please write,